All right, peace and love, family. Forgive me. It is like late ish over here. It's like 11 something. I've been up since like 6 o'clock this morning, so I'm kind of sleepy. But I had to do this Black Panther review before, like, while it was still, fresh in my mind, while I still got like all the juice, even though like I'm kind of tired, so I don't really got the juice, but you know, the juice from the movie. I literally was like taking notes while I was watching the movie, even though it was super hard because the movie was damn good. I probably should have put like spoiler alert on here. So, spoiler alert, if you are not a comic book reader and you don't know any of the story, um, I suggest you do not watch this until you watch the movie, because I will say it is dope, it is lit, it is, all the stuff that we like to say, to sit our enthusiasm about movies. It was a really good movie. So, if you have not seen it, please stop the video, please stop the live stream, do not watch, and come rewatch it, because I guarantee you this would probably be the wokest review of Black Panther, I think, in my humble opinion. So, I'm gonna just go first with the comic book, strictly comic book something. All right. So, me, I am a stickler for source material. I like anything that I watch that is from a good morning, Martinez. Good morning to, or grand rising to you. You know what I'm saying? Morning. Uh, it's like I said, it's 11 o'clock over here. So I'm a stickler for source material, right? When it comes to any type of comic book or anime or video game, anything like that, when it's translated. Oh, you did? Well, I'm glad you catching me. Um, After this live, I'm going straight to sleep because I got to be up early in the morning again. Um, so anything from comic book, video games, manga, anime, when it's translated onto movies or, like full length feature films, like I be picking at it. Grand Rising, Sahar, Sister Sahar, I like pick at it, right? So, The Walking Dead, for instance, I read The Walking Dead. I was reading the Walking Dead graphic novel for a long time. So I was immediately a fan of the TV show. Now, um, like everybody else, I'm sure, who has read the graphic novel and has watched Walking Dead, can feel me when we say, like, all right, the TV show is not only kind of away from source material, but it's just like dragging on right now, even though, you know, the Negan arc was pretty much one of my favorites because I really enjoy the Negan character. But like I said, anybody who has read the graphic novel and watched the TV show can be like, "Yo, all right, I get it. Zombies. All right, Rick and Michonne." Which again, where Denai, I freaking love her, and she was so good in this movie. We're gonna get to her, but she was so good in this movie. So, to get away from that, so I'm a stickler for source material, and when pulling up my notes real quick, um, when watching Black Panther, I was taking those, and then there, on a scale of 1 to 10, for sticking to source material, Yeah, I give it a 8.5. Um, and well, I'll say 9 because it's totally not their fault. Because again, Marvel in the 90s wasn't making that much money, so they had to sell off, a whole bunch of their movie rights to different production companies and stuff like that, or different studios. So the Marvel universe is split up. So I understand why they couldn't have Storm, um, you know, be in the movie because she belongs to the X-Men and the X-Men belong to Fox. But like I said, this is a spoiler, so if you have not watched the movie, please stop watching. Um, for Nakia, for Nakia to be, you know, T'Challa's love interest, I feel like it's completely, 180, like, from source material, where in source material she was more obsessed with T'Challa, and he viewed the Dora Maleje as well, especially Okoye and Nakia. He viewed them as like pretty much sisters, and he didn't view them as potential wives. um but Nakia especially, she was obsessed with him, and then when they kissed at the end of the movie, I thought they were kind of gonna lean back into source material, which they didn't, because he did it of his own volition, where in source material, he was kind of like hypnotized or manipulated. I can't really remember exactly, but I know it wasn't of his own will for him to kiss Nakia. And him kissing Nakia kind of, furthered her infatuation with him, to the point where she tried to sabotage his actual love interest, Monica Lynn, who was in the States, who was a European woman. And, he found out and he ended up banishing her. And she went through a whole bunch of trials and tribulation. And then Eric Killmonger actually kind of like nursed her back to health and gave her a new moniker as Malice. And that's a own storyline on itself, where she became like I would say like a villain. Yeah, she became like a villain, and one of T'Challa's, not enemies really, but an antagonist for T'Challa. So I felt like they killed off that entire storyline, which could have been like another part of the franchise and continue in the movies, having Nakia be Malice. Also, kind of killing off Killmonger early, which, yeah, it doesn't technically show him like dying, like, and being buried and stuff like that, but we kind of get the picture that he died, right? So, killing him off that early, and then leaving, who is it, Mbaku survived, where Mbaku was the white gorilla, and he was one of the ones that led the original uprising. Killmonger didn't lead the uprising. Killmonger wasn't royal blood. That's why in source material, Killmonger, when he took in the heart shaped herb, he wasn't able to become the Black Panther because his body rejected it, because he was not of royal blood. But of course, in the movie, they made him royal blood. They actually made him cousins of a cousin of T'Challa, which we'll get into a little bit later during the more woker part of this, the more woke part of this video. Right now, I'm just kind of focusing on the geeky side. I told you I was going live, Barrett. I really told you I was going live. I definitely told you this, and I texted you, and you never text me back. So I don't want to hear it. But I didn't get into anything juicy right now. I'm just kind of breaking down the source material part of the movie. So Killmonger, right? So yeah, I didn't get into any of the juicy parts. So with Killmonger and Mbuku, so Mbuku was the one who was supposed to lead the uprising. Killmonger comes after, and I'm not sure if Forrest Whitaker's character was actually what the hell is this dude's name? The dude who actually did the coup d'état for Wakanda, him and Nakia. I don't know if Forrest Whitaker's character was actually that, but then they killed him off as well, which could have been again another storyline to keep this Black Panther franchise going in more source material direction, because, well, even yeah, I mean they have the rights to Deadpool, they have the Avengers, who else? Who else? Daredevil. They have Daredevil. They have Daredevil, right? Because Daredevil is on Marvel for Netflix. So I'm pretty sure they have Daredevil. So they have Daredevil, they have Deadpool, they have the Avengers. That's all under Marvel. So they can technically still get away with a lot of source material um, within the kind of Black Panther section of the Marvel universe. So for them to kind of kill off Killmonger like that, switch Nakia from being a villain to being T'Challa's love interest to fill that void, that gap that's supposed to be filled by Storm. Uh, I get it, but you just kind of you're cutting your legs under from underneath your own feet, and the fact that I just felt personally burned as a Marvel enthusiast who we see, I think I'm pretty sure it's the first, excuse me, Asiatic, you know, married couple in comic books, Storm and Black Panther, or Aurora and T'Challa. I'm pretty sure they were the first married couple in, please correct me if I'm wrong, in the Marvel Universe. I was going to ask, do you think there will be a Black Panther 2? Yeah, of course, because look at the success of, of the first one, right? So there's definitely going to be a Black Panther 2, and there has to be because it ties in. Again, like I said, if you're a comic book reader, um, this part of T'Challa's life kind of ties in with the where the rest of the Marvel universe is going right now, heading towards Infinity War. Um, which again, I was under the hopes and prayers that we would see the X-Men and the Avengers and, pretty much the Marvel Universe kind of unite for Infinity War, but with, you know, Nakia being in the role of Storm, I it kind of dashed my hope away. Like, why would they, if they're actually going to be able to bring in Storm, why would they put Nakia in that place of where Storm is? And like I said, I felt a little bit bitter, like seeing Nakia standing there next to T'Challa, during the United Nations thing where it's supposed to be, that's supposed to be T'Challa and Aurora's, little honeymoon go around as dignitaries, right? As like the most powerful couple ever in not only Africa but the whole pretty much Marvel universe. That is like a power couple right there. It gets that's Jay-Z and Beyonce of Marvel universe. You know what I'm saying? Like that is big, and for them to just cut that under and give it to me, oh, it burned me. But like I said, I understood. Peace, Rick. I understood what they were coming from. Another gem, did you notice every Wakandan had their mark inside the bottom lip? Yes. Can we compare that to reality with the world having their nationality? Most of our people don't. They said that's still open. What Storm, I like I said I can't see that being open because if that was a possibility, why give that little snippet of Nakia? Like they should have just ended it on the kiss and then make that as the manipulation. Like I said, they cut off a whole entire villain, a whole series because she like manipulated not kill her off, but like set it up for her to be the villain, because that would have been a whole twist. That would have been a whole twist. Like nobody, if you're not a comic book reader, nobody would have seen that twist coming. Of Nakia actually being a villain, which she really is in source material. So nobody would have seen that coming. So, like I said, there was in terms of 1 to 10 for sticking to source material, I give it an 8.59, because of course they can't control the fact that Marvel doesn't don't own the rights to the X-Men anymore. So, but and that was like one of the biggest things for me, is because, like I said, they're the Jay-Z and Beyonce of of the Marvel universe. Now remember, my last video, I was like, yo, I hope they don't, use those the little phrases, it's lit and stuff like that during the movie, which they didn't. They not once did they say it's lit, thank goodness. But they did, throw a little bit of a little bit of us in it. Shuri, T'Challa's sister, um, you know, like is talking about the tech and stuff like that, and she's like, but I have one question, what are those? And she points at his sandals and stuff. It was pretty funny. Yeah, she said, what are those? So that was pretty funny to me. It's not as bad as I'm saying, it's lit or whatever. It was a little cute, whatever, we got it. And T'Challa's like, I kind of wanted to go old school, and she's like, well, put these on, and she's like, it's light or whatever, you can, you can be stealthy. She's like, I call them sneakers. Get it? And it was just cute. It was really funny, and the stuff that they did put in, I enjoyed it. In terms of the culture, the little our culture, the stuff that they did put in, it wasn't over the top, it wasn't forced, it wasn't, it's lit, dope, all the little silly shit that we be saying these days. All right, so to get into the woke part, right? So like I said, I was taking notes. So they open. Yes, it made it really relatable. It was funny. I couldn't be mad at it. I couldn't be mad at all. And there's some other stuff that that's part of the woke stuff that, again, that made me laugh about it. Um, so yes, the woke part now. So when they start, they open by saying that it was 5 tribes in Wakanda. And immediately I thought of the 5 civilized tribes, because, as you know by now, everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Wakanda's in America. That's America thing. They're talking about us. That's the Aboriginals, and the Jaguars, the Black Panther, and blah blah blah." I'm gonna get to that, because, again, I'm gonna preface that and open it with my more stronger feelings of anybody, yes, separating us again, anybody who, for whatever reason, was talking shit, was talking mess about this movie, especially before it came out, especially before seeing it, and who's an Asiatic, and I hate using this words, but you a damn coon. I am like, I am all for conspiracies. I am all for our people. I'm all for, the power into us. And the biggest thing is, well, you going to see Black Panther is, putting money into the white man's pocket. Black Panther is not a black movie because, it's the white man made it. Disney's the white man. Meanwhile, they're tweeting this. My brother's keeper was the theme. Wake up and unite. Yes, but you didn't peep that until way later, right? Because it was building up to that. So them saying, this is the white man's movie from the so-called white man's social media, because I'm pretty sure the Asiatic Moors don't own Twitter. The Asiatic Moors don't own YouTube. The Asiatic Moors don't own Facebook. We know that, right? The Asiatic Moors do not own Instagram. What other social media? I think I named all the more prevalent social medias in terms of information sharing: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's a film, it's art representing us. Who cares? I'll happily give the Europeans. But peep, right? Not that aside, it's people are picking and choosing what we support, what we throw our money to when it comes to the European. Don't look for movies to help you. No, that it's not that. Because again, and I took a video of the director Ryan, and I keep saying Coolidge, like Calvin Coolidge, the president's, but it's Cougar. Ryan Cougar and Chadwick Boseman. I took clips of their interviews and I wanted to post it on Instagram, but my phone had died that night and I forgot. And I might still post it, but it's after the fact. Yes, Coogler, Cougar, whatever. From the Ryan from the Bay. That's what we're gonna call him. Ryan from the Bay. Really educated, cool guller. All right, thank you, Barrett, Professor Barrett. Um, really educated dude. Really well spoken, super hood. You know, he amazed me with that Hot 97 uh that Hot 97 interview that I had watched him do. He blew me away. I'm I would throw up the bird right now, but I'm not going to do that on my live. But just know I'm mentally throwing up the bird to you, Barrett. You respecting your mother, right? You respecting your mother, right, Barrett? Let me stop. So, yes, he amazed me during that whole interview, and just his insight was just amazing. And me watching that interview, I knew I was in for a great film with a lot of subs, like a lot of subliminals. I knew it. And then watching Chadwick Boseman's interview, I think it was a press conference for, I forgot where they were, but it was a press conference, and he was talking about the impact of the movie and how it was two children with terminal cancer, and they said something to the effects of, "We're holding out until this movie comes out." And you know, he's sitting there talking about the movie. I'm naturally suspicious of anything mainstream media promotes. Not saying I'm correct, just suspicious. No, I understand. I completely understand, Sahar. So am I. You have to be skeptical, especially with this type of stuff. You know, when it's just so much built up energy and emotion, right? But I'm gonna get into it of of why it was misplaced for people to be hating on this movie before they even seen it. Um, but again, and so, you know, Chadwick Boseman is getting really emotional because the children ended up dying, and you know, this is what these people don't understand. Well, they understand it, but like I said, it's the picking and the choosing. We cry, we rant and rave about how many how much media just misrepresents us, or there's not enough representation of us in the media. And here I literally counted one 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 person in the entire movie was my skin complexion. Everybody else was dark brown sugar to chocolate. Listen here. The people of this cast were beautiful effing people, okay? Beautiful. And I already, let people know, Michael B. Jordan, Lord, he is fine. But everybody in this cast, men and women alike, were beautiful, were fine, were sexual chocolate, everything. And like I said, I counted one person. Correct me if I'm wrong, Barrett, because I think you're the only one on here who's seen the movie. Every Lupita, Letitia, Angela Bassett, Chadwick Boseman, Daniel Kaluuya, the dude from Get Out. Um, you know, everybody, this whole cast was lit, and they were all beautiful brown people, like chocolate. Like I said, dark brown sugar to chocolate. There was one person. She was Adora Milaje. She wasn't even a main character like that. That was my skin complexion. Everybody else was darker than me. And I thought that was beautiful. Okay, like I said, we always cry about how, oh, the melanin was in full effect to the 100th power, sis, times the sun. Okay? Um, so everybody crying about how we're not represented enough, and here you have an entire cast of us, good, gracious, beautiful people. This whole cast was freaking gorgeous. All right. So for anybody to discredit that, what kind of message that promotes to the children, okay? Because it's not about us. It's not about us. These superhero movies, yeah, we got a lot of us who watch it because A, we are the comic book geeks, or B, we're in it because Marvel makes great cinematic movies. But the target audience are the children. The children are the one who's gonna be buying the costumes for years to come, who's gonna be buying the merchandise you know like I said, either you're a geek who's collecting stuff because you're a normal moviegoer who's just going for cinematic purposes is not going to invest in the merchandise, and the merchandise is going to be dark brown sugar to chocolate. That's who you're investing in, who your children are going to see. The stuff that we say, oh, we need more of this in the media. We need our own media so we can see. And here you have an entire cast. And people are saying, don't look at this movie because it's the white man's movie, blase blah. Straight cooning. Like I said, I don't care if people going over the top talking about they crying. They should cry because it was cinematically beautiful. The composition of the sound was spectacular because they had a European go to Senegal and study our music, study our Kemetic drums, right, Barrett? Study our Kemetic drums for a month before he composed the soundtrack, which is composing Kendrick's music because Kendrick was being played throughout the entire movie, and then also composing the background, the African singing and the drums and all that stuff. So they had a European go study that and bring it back and compose because our people don't compose. We produce beats. We go on beat drums and do. We don't compose music. Hardly anybody of our people can actually read music. But that's besides the point. That's a little woke, right? But that's just the rant. So the wokier woke part, yeah, we create, but again, we have to get back into because it's our stuff. That is our stuff, right? All that is our stuff. So we have to get back into knowing, you know, the fundamentals of our art. It's the fundamentals of the art, and it's not taught in schools anymore. When I was younger, I took clarinet, I took piano, I took well, I didn't take violin. My grandfather played the violin. Remember, I told you he was in a band. He played the violin, so he taught us the violin. I was actually able to read music as a child, but if you don't study it, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So I lost the ability. I remember certain notes, but I cannot, read a full, score of music. Again, so they made the European go out. Well, they didn't make him. He went to go study us. in Senegal and study our music and brought it back and composed a very great soundtrack. So again, I could understand why people got emotional because they were playing our music, they were playing our drums, they were playing to the vibrations and to our energy. Okay, so yeah, there was that. So the people who knocking this movie strictly from the sense that it's the white man's thing, but they're tweeting from the white man's social media. They're tweeting from the white man, his cell phone and his cell phone carrier. They're paying mortgages to the white man. Also, the representation of traditional tribal clothes and fashion, not as backward and rural, but normalized as a part of the way of high tech urban life. Oh man, you are so right. Who's that? DZ Umara. Welcome. You are right. That's definitely it. It was again fantastic because they actually did the research. Ryan Coolidge. I think I said it right this time, Barrett. He went and he spent a lot of time in Africa and did the research, and it was very well done, very well done. And again, playing to Wakanda being the most technologically advanced. Shut up, Barrett. Ryan from the Bay. Ryan from the Bay. That's what we're gonna call him. Um, Wakanda being the most technologically advanced society. So incorporating the, ancient, you know, cultural old school, with I forgot what those round weapons are called. It begins with an S. I remember but just incorporating all that into um, into Wakanda was just amazing. I think it was well done. So again, so they start and say it's the five civilized tribes, right? Well, the five tribes, and immediately I thought five civilized tribes, right? And then Wakanda is sitting on a meteorite. Again, this is for also for people who are into the comic books, but for those who are just regular moviegoers. Wakanda sits on the meteorite that they get the vibranium from. Um, and it comes from space. And then again, so then I made that connection to Lemuria, right? And our people, how many, and across the continents the continents of Africa, the continents of Asia, and the continents of the Americas, and how many native tribes attribute their ancestors to being from the stars, right? So you have a meteorite from the stars come, and you have this great civilization which is kind of hidden from the world, um, sits on top of this meteorite from outer space. Um, Again, I thought a prime example is the guy with the lip plate wearing this. Yo, you're right. That was dope too because I remember his lip plate was like neon green, and he had the neon green suit, completely African, right? If you know any Nigerians, you know this is how they dress, right? Bright ass colors, just the fabric, and those five civilized tribes, right? The hidden. Can you wait? Pump your brakes, Barrett. Pump your brakes, cause we gonna get there. So the five tribes were the different tribes that you see are the prevalent tribes. So you've seen the San people, you've seen the different the different tribes that you see in Africa were all the five tribes in Wakanda. I wonder if this review is a spoiler. I ain't seen it yet. I gave that disclaimer at the beginning. I gave that disclaimer at the beginning. I said there's a lot of spoilers here. So if you have not watched the movie, don't watch it yet because it's gonna be a whole bunch of spoilers. But again, like I said, I'm coming from a comic book reader stance, and I'm not gonna tell every aspect of the movie, and some aspects that I might tell you might not even matter to you. Now you have expectations. Well, good, because you know, I don't know what a lot of people expected with this movie. I know a lot of people went in there saying, "Oh, we got all black cast, so it's gonna be great." But and let me tell you, not only are the actors just amazing in this movie, but the message in this movie, the cinematics, the direction, the composition, everything is fantastic. All right, I'm going to look for the tribe and everything now. Yeah, so peep all the tribes. Um, so when I seen the trailer, well, I didn't first. I'm lying. So I seen a little bit of the trailer. I knew Killmonger was gonna be in it, but I did not know the Claw was gonna be in it. And when I seen the Claw within the first 10 minutes, I'm like, okay, now they're cleaning up. Where was it filmed? It was filmed in South Africa. It was filmed in South Africa. Um, so when the Claw was appeared in the first the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, all right, well, they're cleaning up their actions of not having any connection to the Claw in the Civil War movie. Yeah, I didn't see the full trailer. Sorry if I'm impatient and jumping topics, but the scene where the gorilla tribe king shuts up the white yes, I felt some type of way when they did that. It's the same noises, yet people used to discard black. It's not flipped. Exactly, exactly. Um, like I felt some type of way about that, but at the end of it, and then he says, "You say one more word, I'm gonna feed you to my children." And everybody's like, "Oh shit!" And I'm like, "Damn!" They had to play into that whole cannibalism thing. And then he says, "I'm just kidding. We're vegetarians." Yo, I started dying. He's like, "I'm just kidding. We're vegetarians." And then they all start laughing. Didn't the gorilla remind me of the HBCU? They do that. Shut up, Barrett. Get out of here. Yes, I started dying when he's like, "Oh yeah," or "No, I'm just kidding. We're vegetarians." I was like, "Okay, they cleaned that up." So they made you think, and shut up, Barrett. Um, they made you think like they were gonna go there and kind of exploit our people, where we kept thinking, oh, there's all the movies we see ourselves are slaves or we're gangbangers and da 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 da. Where this was just like how I was talking about the martial arts movie, right? Where they are completely honest in their portrayal. Yes, Barrett does got jokes. You know, they're the troglodytes, though. You seen the beginning. Yes, yes. We're not gonna give it all away, right, Barrett? So, how I said the martial arts movies, how they're completely honest with themselves or with the audience and about their history, which is how I felt this movie was, right? Now, only if we can take that and make it about nonfiction, we can get somewhere. If we can be completely honest, dishonest with ourselves, and this candid about our culture and our history, nonfiction wise, not in fiction, but nonfiction wise, I feel like it'd be another step forward, because that is what, the Chinese and the Japanese do. They're completely honest. Yeah, we warred with each other for 100,000 years. Yeah, we were on opium for like 60 years. But we still honor each other. We still have codes and da da da. And that's what I seen in Wakanda, right? So I thought it was amazing that we had the reversal, right? So you had the European, you had Claw working for Michael B. Jordan's character, when in actuality, it was the reverse in source material, right? In source material, Michael B. J's character Killmonger, his parents actually worked for, or was tricked into working for, the Claw, and that's how his parents got killed. And I think, yeah, T'Challa ended up banishing him from Wakanda. So T'Challa already knew about him. He wasn't related to him in any way. Ryan from the Bay and Michael B. Jordan said a couple of years ago that they're going to open the doors for movies to come on. Well, see, because they worked together before. They worked together on Fruitvale Station and they worked together on Creed. So this is three for the stripes for Ryan for the Bay for being a fantastic director and presenting our people in an honest light, right? Um, because I don't think I think Creed was more of my husband's type of movie. He likes those whole mixed martial arts fighting type of movies, and I'm like, ah, yeah, I get it. I don't really remember Creed like that, but I remember Fruitvale Station, so that was real good. So you had actually the reversal. Now you had the Claw who was working for Killmonger in the movie, and I was like, that's dope. Um, and you know, the Claw was the one who was doing the typical nigger shit, right? Who was doing the coon shit, who was rolling up to the club or wherever they was at, bumping loud ass Kendrick, right? Kendrick Lamar bumping the loud ass music. He comes through the door and Agent Ross is like, "Oh, you dropping a mixtape?" And he's like, "Yeah, you can download it on SoundCloud." You know what I'm saying? It was the European. The European was the one who was saying that shit, not our people, not the typical coonery type of niggery type of shit, right? It was the European that was doing it, and then you know he's fighting T'Challa, and then he breaks it, and then you didn't catch that? Oh man, like I told you, I was in the theater with the pen and the pad, man. Well, not the pen and the pad, but my phone, and I was just every time I saw something, I was typing. so so yeah, so then he breaks it, and then money starts falling everywhere, and he's like, "Oh, I made it rain," and I'm like, "Oh my god." I was like, "I'm so glad it's not one of us saying this type of shit. It's the European." So it was the European that was being all coonery. um I seen that part where the Claw said, "I made it rain." Yeah, so it was him being all coonery. He said that he got a mixtape on SoundCloud. It was just a complete reversal. So then you you seen also that part where the Claw, where they're in Korea, right? um they're internationally recognized. So um what's her name, Nakia approaches the Korean woman, and she starts speaking in Korean fluently, and she's like, "Who are these people?" And she's like, "Oh, they're my friends from Kenya. There's some of my people from Kenya." Da, 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 and they're talking, and she smiles to her. She knows her for a while. They're talking like they're cool, just them having their nationality and then being internationally recognized and internationally accepted. So even when inside of the club, yes, that's another gem. Even when inside of the club, I think Denai's character Okoye says something in Wakandian, and one of the European looks at her and automatically can tell that she's Wakandian, and then that their cover is blown. So again, having that international tongue, being internationally recognized as Wakandian, even in that same part, right, where they're in disguise, and deny Okoye's or deny the character, or the actor who plays Okoye. What are your thoughts on the blood and county ethocentric politics of Wakanda before T'Challa reforms? Could this be differently if Wakanda was in Europe? Well, see, look at you. You getting ahead too. You getting ahead too, because I was also gonna go into that where I think they tried to touch upon it during the end credits when, well, not just during the end credits, but when Killmonger takes over and talks about spreading out their their technology, and then T'Challa references it in the United Nations, and then I think even, is it Shuri or Nakia who talks about you know giving you good, who talks about given refugee, right? So we hear the word refugees, um, and given aid because they have that they have the ability to, right? So again, it plays into the politics where they give you more of that in source material where the economy, right? Because that's how Killmonger was kind of able to take over. And I forget who it was before Killmonger who actually started the coup d'etat by throwing off the Wakandan economy, right? And then T'Challa actually had to build up the economy back again after the whole, the whole issue with Warmonger. So and again, this is why I kind of wanted them to stick closer to source material because the source material is really where the gems are for our people. That's where the gems are. So not only do you know about your nationality, but you can tell about what the economy and um, how the colonizers kind of destabilize, and this is what Ryan from the Bay talks about in that interview as to how countries like Ethiopia, uh, Haiti, and the country that he kind of gave the setup for Wakanda, the kingdom of Luanda or Lukuya, something like that, in South Africa, where they said it's protected by mountain ranges, just like how they said Wakanda is in the movie, right? It's protected but hidden within mountain ranges, so not a lot of colonizers were able to get into that area, right? So they staved off colonization, but in them staving off colonization, they weren't able to receive aid, so they are one of the poorest countries. So that's what happens to these countries who people really think they're not colonizers. They are still colonizers, yes, because they hold the power, right? So it's not systematic racism, it's systematic colonization. Um, that is the issue because they pick and choose who they want to succeed, which is why Haiti is such a poor country, right? Why Ethiopia is such a poor country, why all these kingdoms and these countries who stave off colonization are not able to economically compete because they are being starved. And this is what Ryan from the Bay is touching upon when he talks about Wakanda and the hidden and how Claw keeps calling them savages and stuff like that when Claw actually knows. See, and this is another hidden gem, right? Because Claw in source material fantasizes and fetishizes about Wakanda so much so that he talks to his son about Wakanda. When Letitia says, "Don't scare me." Yeah. Listen, I was hooting and hollering inside that movie theater. I was just being extra. I was being extra. When she says, another broken white boy to fix when T'Challa brings in Agent Ross, I was like, bah, because another broken white boy to fix, right? What did we as the Moors go to Europe and do? We fixed their culture, did we not? When we brought them out of the Dark Ages, when we brought them the Renaissance, we fixed their culture. So when she said another white boy to fix, I was like, ding, 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 another gem, another gem, right? So even before that, right? So I'm gonna get back to Korea. I kind of bounced all over, but it's good. Like I said, I don't mind bouncing all over the place because it all ties back into it, right? So when they go back, when they're back in Korea, when they go back into Korea and they're let me see. Why do I feel like some of my posts are getting hidden? Oh, whatever. So they're chasing Claw, right? And when finally this another hidden gem, right? When finally T'Challa catches Claw, right? And he got him up like this, and he's about to claw his shit up, right? About to, you know, pantherize his shit up, right? In the background, guess what they have in the background? They have a 7-Eleven, bro. I kid you not. Fam, when I seen that, I was like, yo, that's it. Because they're in a Korean town, right? So where how many 7-Elevens are you going to see in a Korean? Bro, I shit you not. I shit you not. Right when he corners Claw, when he's about to get Claw in Claw's ass, there was a 7-Eleven in the background. And for all y'all who don't know, 7-Eleven, the year 711, and is when the Moors first started conquering Europe. It is when they started conquering Spain. Was in the year 711, and when T'Challa corners and got checkmate on Claw's ass, there was a 7-Eleven in the background. I shit you not. I'm willing to bet those brothers doing that movie. Oh, doing a more movie. Yo, that would be dope. Somebody would be mad though. But I shit you not, there was a 7-Eleven. And my perceptive ass peeped that shit. I was like, yo, that is crazy. My homeboy right here, he's woke. So boom, there was the 7-Eleven in Korea. Um, Again, another thing that kind of got me into, which I kind of knew, but the way that they, like I said, me as a comic book fan, I always fantasized about seeing what Wakanda looked like, and I was blown away by what, because he said that he went to, because vibranium is kinetic, right? It deals, it's sonic. um so it deals with sound, because the epic fight scene when Dory and the gorilla were fighting, when the Dora Milaje and the gorilla were fighting with the rhinos, I said to myself, we're ready for an epic history movie. Exactly. Exactly. But so like I said, I was always fascinated as to what Wakanda looked like, and how this technology, because at the time when I was reading this, we didn't have the kind of concept that we do now, right? With all the technology, with all the the sex robots, and the transferring your consciousness into this, and the hoverboards, and we didn't have any concept of that type of technology when I was actually reading the comic books. But now that we do, to see it in play, I'm like, all right, the technology that I'm seeing in the movies, and remember what I always say, but when you see technology in movies, know that that technology already exists. And we've probably had that technology for about 30 years now. So, um, in the beginning, when they take those little balls, when he took those little balls and threw it on the cars and kind of EMP'd the cars with just a little ball, right? Um, when uh, when they're transferring, when Agent Ross is in Shuri's lab, and he's looking out and he's like, are those magnetic rails? And she's like, well, yeah, duh. And he's like, well, I've never seen it, working to this type of effect. And she gets excited when she got to put on her little scientific hat, and reschool, reschool the colonizer, and give him some more gens of technology that he could take back to his land and shit, about how their technology was working. And she said that she developed the technology, because the vibranium would be like destructive or something, moving at that fast of a speed on the train. So she developed the technology to deactivate it while it's going through the train. And he's like, oh, there's vibranium. She said kinetic, not kinetic. She said kinetic. Um, she when thanks thanks when he was like, oh, there's vibranium on that train, and she's like, oh, yeah, you everything's comedic to you, Barrett. Don't know if this is explained in the source material, but what happened with the Rhino tribe after T'Challa took over again? I was curious to see how the movie would tackle this treason, but they didn't. Because again, what I'm thinking is that, because like I said, it wasn't Killmonger who, and people know this, who are into the source material, it wasn't Killmonger who, brought brought civil war to Wakanda. Um, there were two separate uprisings. The first uprising was the first. No, it wasn't. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. I just lied. Sorry. There was one uprising, and that was after T'Challa. Nope, I lied again. There is two. So T'Challa, another lesson, emotionalism. T'Challa, T'Challa leaves Wakanda, right? And he's at this point in time, he's the king. So he has somebody stand in. The person who's standing in is Mbuku. And when T'Challa comes back to Wakanda, I think with either the X-Men or the Avengers, he comes back with one of the group, and the group is confronted by guns from these people, Mbuku, who I think is supposed to be of the Rhino tribe, right? So T'Challa gets all upset, like, why do you have these guns here? And Mbuku's like, well, we know Claw is still about, da 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 da. And, everybody's like, well, you were gone, so, we had to do to protect ourselves. And they end up getting into a fight or whatever, and T'Challa, with the help of the Avengers or the X-Men or whoever he's with, end up defeating that dude. Um, and you know, there's another one where the actual civil war in within Wakanda happens with, I forgot who, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Forrest Whitaker's character in the movie, because the person was like a priest or something, or a pastor or something like that within Wakanda, who actually takes over. So again, inside the source material is another gem, right? Where it's always the church, right? The church that kind of tries to take over the state, or the church that's actually pulling the strings behind the state, which where you have like the Vatican, right? The Vatican is the one that's pulling the strings, behind behind everything. So you have the Vatican, which is the religious, powerhouse. You have London, which is the economic powerhouse, and then you have DC, which is the military powerhouse. So you have the trifecta: the religion, the economics, and the military as their powerhouse. So again, in source material, that person, that pastor, that priest, or whatever, is who overthrows and kind of just throws Wakanda into a civil war. And T'Challa has a mess to do with cleaning that up, and that's where also the economics come into play, because he threw off the economy in that time. Um, but yeah, so to what I was trying to, the vibranium, right? So the vibranium, and he's like, oh, there's vibranium on that train, and she's like, there's vibranium everywhere, and she's like, it's what powers our city, which reminded me of the lost city of Atlantis, where their power source, the gem or whatever, is what powered their city, which was able to keep the barrier around their city, similar to the barrier that's around Wakanda, which powers their city, similar to the way what powers Wakanda, which is what they use in their weaponry, similar to what Wakanda uses in their weaponry, which they use to keep each other, to keep them alive, to keep them vibrant, right? Which, similar to Wakanda, is not in the sense that they're keeping them immortal or whatever, but keeping them more vibrant and alive, because they are enhanced, like T'Challa's Black Panther suit, enhanced with vibranium. So extending his life source, so to speak. So I made a lot of correlations with Atlantis and Wakanda. And there was also a scene in the movie where he goes to the first ritual fight, right? Where they do the with their spears, right? Where they're all on the boats, they do the thing with their spears and they send the sound waves because again, vibranium is sonic, right? The sonic waves, they send the sound waves down and then it activates something that makes the water goes down, right? So you start seeing something under the water and it reveals all these like caverns and stuff, and that's where they go to do that ritual fighting. So again, under the water, like Atlantis was under the water. So I made a lot of correlations to Lemuria and Atlantis, um, within Wakanda. So now kind of skipping forward to where we are introduced to Killmonger, and we see that his father was Wakandian and his father mated with an American woman, right? and and that's why he's so called. They called him, lost, right? He's lost. And they're saying, the part where T'Challa's father, confronts his so-called brother or Killmonger's father, and is like, we heard, somebody's been out here selling, vibranium, or betraying us, da 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 da. And he's like, I don't know her, and it comes out that it's him, right? And he says something to the effects of, the world needs these tools to fight back, right? And on the surface wise, people would think the tools are the guns that he's trying to, that he because he had guns out, right? That the guns that he's trying to sell. But to me, when he said the world needs these tools to fight back, I immediately again thought about having the protection, because that's what Wakanda is. They are protected by their nation, because that's what they hold big in Wakanda, and they played it out through the movie. Wakanda before anything, right? Wakanda, before letting the refugees in, they would just drag Wakanda down, or we can't let the world know about Wakanda because they will, everything that we've been working to will be thrown to dust again. So again, the tools that he said we need to fight back was the fact that they held their nation above all. And that's what makes uh, T'Challa, or Black Panther, an interesting superhero. And I don't think they quite played to it in the movies, but in the comic books, he's not like a vigilante, where a vigilante kind of like puts their own gains or their own wants and needs above being a superhero. But when it comes to T'Challa puts being a king of Wakanda before anything else. So him being the king and him, being for his people, it comes before anything else. And again, I didn't see that really played too much into the movie, but like I said, coming from somebody with the comic book background and hearing him saying, we need the tools to fight back, that's again automatically what my interpretation was the tools of having the protection of the nation, having the protection of your country in Wakanda. And another thing, and it's funny because I was listening to Taj this morning, and he made, as he always does, the reference of the Wizard of Oz and how it tells to our people. And in the movie, I think I forget who it was, but they said something like, uh, oh, I think it was Shuri talking to Agent Ross, and he says something to her, and she says, "Well, yeah, this is not Kansas. You're not in Kansas." And I was like, "Yo, really?" So you have the 7-Eleven, You have him saying this is not Kansas, which everybody knows. Like you're not in Kansas anymore. You're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. That's directly the Wizard of Oz. So playing into that. So again, and then you have him saying that uh, Killmonger is lost, right? Killmonger is not one of us. Killmonger is an outsider. Again, playing that whole African ain't Africans, African Americans ain't African thing, and we're all different people. We're separate and we're divided. And then what really struck me was Killmonger saying, uh, "Well, maybe your home is lost, right? All this stuff, and maybe your home is lost." Again, kind of also playing to the fact that we are not different people, and maybe where you think you started isn't the beginning, right? So again, these people who do these movies can't come out right and tell you, like Isaiah Thomas did, right, that we were already here. We've been here before 1492. They can't come out and tell you this because they still got to keep working on their careers. They get still got to keep putting movies. So it's up to us to kind of make these interpretations or decipher these movies on our own based upon our own knowledge, right? Because art imitates life and life imitates art. So using the knowledge that you get in this life, you're able to kind of decipher what they have in the art. So him saying maybe your home is lost was just like, yo, you you better tell them, Killmonger, let them know that just because you across on a different continent does not mean you're separate from this people. And they kept trying to play that whole thing. Well, he's not one of us. He's an outsider. When obviously it's direct that he's from the bloodline, right? From what the whole tattoo shit on his lip, which I think is kind of dope. I would never get a tattoo on my lip, but nigga, I'm Wakandian, nigga. Yeah, when he pulled that, but yeah, let him know what my name is. Let him know what my name is, right? What's his name, right? Go into his name. So he dropped that Christian name, right? He dropped his slave name, that Eric Killmonger, and he said what his real name was, which is not even his name, right? People are so crazy. They still hitting me on this damn. I don't know why these people are so obsessed with this uh Afro Latinos ain't black. Like that video is just getting so much freaking getting so many hits. Like, can y'all leave me be? Can y'all leave me alone? But anyways, so yes, it's not even his real name. It's like Njoka or something like that. Print. Yeah, again, like I said, but he's not even really a prince, right? He's not even part of the bloodline, and that's why in source material, the heart herb rejects him because he's not a prince. Um, and again, so like I said, oh, look at that little connection right there. So yeah, so him being from the Americas, maybe that is the connection right there to why they changed up his name, and called him a prince, right? Called him royalty, part of a lineage, right? Because again, the whole point of the matter is that you're not separate, right? African Americans ain't Africans is complete bullshit to me. When you're all of the same people, okay? It doesn't matter if life started in Africa or if life started on Turtle Island. Didn't matter. All right. The point of the matter is you're all Moors. Point blank. Period. So again, like I said, I would be surprised if anybody in the movie called themselves black. Right. So Is this your little review there, buddy? Is this your review? What's going on over here? Pump your brakes, cause I have three more points. All right, and like I said, I'm going to bed after this. So, like I said, it wasn't. I would be surprised if anybody had called themselves black in the movie. And lo and behold, the only person who used the term black, because throughout the whole movie, nobody used the word black to describe themselves, to describe their people, to describe who they were. But it was the American, it was Killmonger who brought the first black anything into the scene, talking about black people around the world. So it again making the correlation that everybody else is associating with the tribe, but it's the American one that is saying black, black people, black this, that, black that. But what he also says though, see how they try to throw you off, right? How they try to throw you off. He also says, well, we're going to kind of basically, you know, give all the weapons to the people being oppressed around the planet so they can rise up and throw up everybody. No, the biggest gem is him saying we'll get and we'll rule as Wakanda, and we can save this world so the sun will never set on this empire. And what do they say about the Moroccan Empire? The sun never set on the Moroccan Empire because Moroccan Empire was from North America, South America, Africa, Asia Minor, Asia Sore, Asia. It never set because it was everywhere. That was the biggest gem to me, besides the no, he said the sun will never set. He said the first part was like, oh, the sun sets on the west or something like that. But then Killmonger says the sun never will never set on the empire because we will basically rule over the whole world. And that was the kind of like tagline for the Moroccan Empire. The sun never set on the Moroccan Empire because it's everywhere. And then at the end, at the very end, he says, bury me in sea with my ancestors because they knew that death was better than bondage. And notice keys right now that he says bondage versus slavery. And what does Taj always say? That we are in bondage because our bodies are the bonds, we are the debt. I'm telling these brothers know what they are doing exactly. So instead of saying we are in slavery, which is what anybody else would have said, right? Anybody else would have said death is better than slavery because he's like, what are you going to do? Put me in jail? What are you going to do? Put me in chains? So it would have made complete sense because everybody knew that he was alluding to slavery, but he did not want to say slavery. He said bondage because that's what we are in. We are held in bondage. So that the sun never set on the empire and the 7-Eleven being in the background as he was cornering Claw were the biggest gems to me of this movie. So that concludes, ladies and gentlemen, the Wokest review you will find on Black Panther, point blank, period. Last minute questions before I get off of here, or last minute comments before I get off of here. Anybody? She said comedic energy. Wait, what am I waiting for? No problem, Sahar. Enjoy the movie if you go see it. That was corny then. Thanks for putting in perspective for me. That wasn't corny then. Thanks for putting that in perspective for me. Nah, you got it. I'm typing it. Nah, take your time. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for you. Well, I lied. Don't take your time. type in a timely manner because I still want to go to sleep. But I mean, I'm not gonna just click it off on you or whatever. But as you can see, my eyes are like really drooping right now. I'm tired. I still gotta go take the makeup off my face, and then I gotta get up early for that lecture with Kava and James Smalls tomorrow. So I'm not looking forward to. 'Cause I'm tired. Motherfucking tired. What you mean you about to head out? It's not that. It's not that late. Where are you? Please tell me you're back in Bmore and not in New York. Probably go to Harlem, cause I got 12:30 right now. How was yesterday's lecture? Um, I'm in the hotel room. Okay. Yesterday's lecture was some of the things Todd says were insightful that I haven't heard from him before. Um, the thing that I appreciated most was seeing him get emotional. Um, you know, which he rarely does. I rarely see him get emotional. Just wanted to say that as a Serbian, I fully understand what it is like to be misrepresented in movies. We are always terrorists, etc. So seeing Black Panther, I was proud and happy to see that it's possible to flip the script. There's hope. Amen. Oh, bless up, bless up, Mara. Um, I definitely feel you. And like I said, I feel like it's very important um, not to be misrepresented, but to be completely honest. You know what I'm saying? So, I enjoyed the energy in the room. Sahar experience firsthand was great. Oh, definitely. Um, I definitely suggest seeing any of Taj's lectures, going to see him in person. He's amazing. But to go what Mara was saying is it is okay to embrace the fact that you have done wrong as a culture, right? Because as Moors, we know our hands aren't clean. We've done pretty messed up things, and it's not all Moors. You have the dragon, the order of the dragon, and the order of the phoenix. You have the light and the dark. So there is good and evil in every culture and in every nationality. But what it is to, like I said, with the martial arts movies and the Chinese movies, right? Is to be completely honest and translate that on film so people can learn from it. Even if it's fiction, to incorporate historic and history in it, to have historical fiction. So to see Black Panther and some of the aspects of what we really went through as a people put on there, have that in the nonfiction. And I completely agree with you. As Serbians, I'm pretty sure I know somebody from Serbia, and the fact that anybody in that area is anybody in that area is labeled as a terrorist is ridiculous to me, because again, it's the victim of the circumstance type of thing, right? Is being starved out and not being given aid as many other countries get aid to, right? I'm trying to think of a movie that's always misrepresented, you guys, and our people complain about what we. Oh, right, with the Serbs, right? Because every movie that you've ever seen about anybody in that area of the world, right, from Eastern Europe, right, and down into the Middle East, unless it's a movie in that nation, like a foreign film, that's always a terrorist. Always a terrorist. Always a terrorist. Right? From that whole area of the world. Hey, Riot Girl. Yeah, we just getting done, sweet pea. Cause I'm a little tired. I've been up for a while. I don't mean to laugh, but it needs to stop. Exactly, exactly. Because if just because some people of that region have engaged in covert ops, aka terrorism, egged on by the CIA, which we know that majority of these groups are right, are funded and are trained by the CIA. So we need to have a movie about that, or a real life discussion about how the CIA, enters. And actually, they talked about it. I never realized it. I just watched Fate of the Furious, but peep, right? They touched upon that on Black Panther. They touched upon that on Black Panther, right? How they were saying Killmonger would go in and destabilize the countries, um, taking out their monarchs and taking their resources, right? What do the CIA do? They do that. They go into countries, they destabilize the countries, they take out the monarchs, the presidency, the whoever's in charge, and then they funnel the resources, they siphon the resources. So, yeah, lots of gems in that movie. Again, anybody who was sitting there criticizing that movie before even seeing it is a coon. Coonery to no bounds. No bounds. So yeah, I'm gonna go on. Take this face off. Have I ever thought about writing a book? I read Confessions of an Economic Hitman. That sounds dope. I will definitely put that on my book list to get. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. That sounds dope. Yeah, look at the gems being dropped on my life. Yo, who's that? Mara, I need to see you. I need to see you in here. I need to see you in here again by a former agent. I need to see you on my live stream again. But to answer Sahar's question, yes, I thought of written books, not on the knowledge on fiction. I'm in the process of writing a fiction novel, and I write creatively anyways. But I never thought of writing something like, towards, knowledge wise. That's a thought, but, I'm not going to be the one to claim to know everything. Like I said, that's why this is what the live stream is for me to kind of discuss these topics and these issues for me. And I'm pretty sure somebody will be in the comment like, "Oh my god, it was just a superhero movie. Get over it. You reading too much into it." Just like they doing on my Afro Latinos Ain't Black video. "Oh my god, you don't know what you talking about. Shut up. Why are you talking with that accent?" Give thanks, Mara. I appreciate you. If you're gonna subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button, because YouTube don't like letting people know that I'm going live. But yeah, y'all should go see some of the comments on my damn videos. People crazy. But yeah, I can't. My eyes. That's the international troll voice. For real. "Oh my god. Why are you talking in that? Why do all Latinos talk in that accent for? Can't you guys just say it in a regular, like, boy, if you don't get out of here?" "Oh my god, I'm black because my mom said I'm black. Because black is not an adjective, black is a race. Get out of here." But all right, y'all, I gotta go because my eyes is like burning. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the notifications. Enjoy y'all day. I'm gonna see y'all in a couple hours maybe when I wake up. But I appreciate y'all for sticking this through with me. This 85 minutes of me talking all type of geeky nonsense. Peace.